Good evening. IVBCF, Inland Valley Business and Community Foundation, is a nonprofit group that Marie started before I even knew her. I made the mistake of going to a meeting once with her. I had met Marie in a Toastmasters Club meeting, and she asked me if I could come to a meeting and talk about potential education sessions for this nonprofit group that she was running. And they'd been up and running for a couple of years, and I made the mistake of asking a question in the meeting, and the next thing you know, I was kind of running the thing. That's what happens. You get voluntold, right? So you need to, don't ever bring up things in a nonprofit, don't ever volunteer information. But the IVBCF, we started a scholarship fund, and it was to raise money for students to go to higher education. It didn't matter if it was a career college or a university or any kind of higher education beyond high school that they could improve their lives with. So that's what we started with. Now, before I got there, they had already started doing these family festivals. And the family festivals were just a community expo. It started as a community expo because in 2008, anybody remember 2008? How was the economy doing? Yeah, a little anemic. Some people think we're heading there again. We hope not, but it was kind of sad. And so there was a bunch of business people that kind of worked in the same area, and they thought, what can we do? What can we do to try and help each other? And they put on this expo in a parking lot. And people showed up to it, and then the next time they did another one, they got the local high school involved and raised money for them, and it was bigger, and then they did one in the fall and one in the spring for the next few years. So they did spring expos and fall expos that were, they would have local youth sports teams and dance teams and karate teams come out and do exhibitions, and all the different businesses had the little expos where they could show off their business and promote it. And the group grew. It kept growing and growing and growing, and beyond started getting pretty large. We finally did one with a fashion show, and that was an accident. What happened was we had a vendor who was a clothing couture clothing kind of place, and you can see I'm really up on fashion, right? They wanted to do a fashion show, and so we set it up and they promoted it and everything, and then about a week or week and a half before the event, they pulled out. They said we had an opportunity to do a fashion show somewhere else, and so they bailed. But all the promotion had gone out, so Marie said, what are we going to do? And I said, put a fashion show together. So she tapped a bunch of local business people. Some may even be in this room here, but there were people, just regular business people, and got another clothing store to provide the clothing, and they did a fashion show, which was one of the events. And at that event, afterwards, Marie kind of told me, she said, I feel like there wasn't a lot of attendance at the expo this time. It was a little disappointing, but there was a lot of people that came out just for the fashion show at the end. And I said, well, it sounds to me like maybe you should do a fashion show. Instead of forget the expo, just do the fashion show. What people want, give them what they want, right? So we did the next one. So this one we did at the Pechanga Resort, and it was a fashion show. And it was a fundraiser. And it was the first time we had done it. Obviously, I know nothing about fashion. Marie's a little more tied into it, but we had a pretty good turnout. How many people we have there, Marie?
I don't know, maybe over 100?
Yeah, it was probably a big group, a little bit bigger than this. And we had a little runway, and it was all local people who modeled and local merchants who provided the clothing. And we did another one that was over Pechanga, was a little bit larger, only this time we had a few professional designers involved who got involved with us, and we still had the community. And then we did the one the following year. That one we actually did as a James Bond theme. And there was some marketing that went out through social media, and we got contacted by people even out of state and some people out of Hollywood and some other people that actually wanted to participate. And this was the photo shoot we did. We went to a yacht show, ran into a guy that ran an airplane aviation school. And we asked, could we use your area to do a photo shoot? And so Brooke over here provided one of his Rolls-Royce cars, and a guy named Dr. Marty Fowler provided one of his Rolls-Royce cars. If you ever listen to Saturday morning radio, Brent Wilsey, he brought a Lamborghini out, and we did a photo shoot with airplanes and fancy cars. And what you see is all the guys in there are just businessmen. They're just businessmen from around the community of Southern California, all over Southern California, and some actually from out of state. And the ladies in there are all professional models. And so they just did a James Bond photo shoot, and we did the fashion show. Then we moved to the following year. That actually was sponsored by Aston Martin. We got Aston Martin to sponsor that one. And then we did the next year, we did Fashion Week with the city of Temecula. And so that one we did one in the vineyard at, which winery was that? That was Lioness Wineries up in Temecula. Leonis Wineries, okay. You can tell I go there a lot. So I lived in Temecula for 12 years, and I think I only went to wineries one or twice. I'm not that person. And then we also did one at the Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz sponsored that. And then we did a community show, going back to our roots of having community. Did that at the Promenade Mall with the local merchants there. So we did 3 shows and made a fashion week out of it.
Before you move on, Steve, I want to say that Ken Bennett was the one that did that video production. Yeah.
Yes, Video Adventures, if you want to check out Ken's work. And I want to say there were Nick Ferrero from the whatever channel that is.
Project Runway.
Project Runway. Okay, each time I watched all of those. We did have others. We had actual fashion designers that came out, professional models, but we also had community people. And we had right here in the room some of our finest women in real estate. We're here. Gisela was part of that show. Who else?
Yeah,
Pauline was part of the show. I don't know if anybody else in here
Yeah,
was. Monica, were you in that show? Didn't make that one? Okay. So it was still a mix of the professional and the community, which is the way we always wanted to kind of keep it. So, and then we did the next year, we did up in the City Hall, in front of City Hall in Temecula, and even moved up a level in the designers that we had and the quality we had. Again, Brooke brought his car out again up there. We always appreciate Brooke participating with us, and Dr. Fowler brings his big Mercedes-Benz out too. And we had another fashion week with a lot of great shows. All the proceeds of this were for that scholarship fund, and that's why we did it. Where is IVBCF today? Well, fortunately, I don't run it anymore, thank goodness. I had my share at it and enjoyed it. But we started partnering with TEDx. TEDx was started by Jim McLaughlin here. You guys familiar with the TED Talks, right? Okay. Well, part of the community and helping to educate and improve the community was these talks, bringing people in with new and fresh ideas, make you think a little bit. Jim had started that, and then he approached us after he had it going a couple of years and said, you know what, I need a nonprofit partner to help me with this so we can run these. So, Jim, you want to come and talk about your TEDx project?
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, oh, there they are. Yeah, it's exactly as Steve said. We needed a nonprofit partner, and we needed a partner that had the same vision that we had, or a similar mission to make a difference in the community and bringing business and the community together. And that's a big part of what we're doing at TEDx Temecula, is finding those people in the community, not just Temecula, but anywhere in the region. We have speakers come from all over, LA this year, San Diego, and we've had people fly in from the past. But we're really looking for the people in our community that are different, or they have something different to say. And they may not be the most visible people, but they're out there in the community. We want to bring those people to the community, and so that we can know ourselves better, and so that the outside world can get to know us better. We all want that for whatever our community is, whatever our organization is. We want to have our mission live in the world, and want to be recognized as producing or as fulfilling on that mission. So thank you, Marie and Steve, for helping us do that. For now, it's been 11 years, or 12. We're in our 12th year now of these events, and it's just been a great ride, and we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. We're going to now recognize Steve Matley for being the past president for 10 years of volunteer services for Inland Valley Business and Community Foundation. Thank you. So if you want to move over there, next one. And Ken Bennett. Ken, thank you for all the video production that you did for IVBCF. Next one is Robbie Motter. Make sure she goes this way. All right, Robbie, thank you so much for being a community leader and one of our fashion judges during the fashion show.
I also met you I would have never met Marie except she nominated me one year for an award with IVBC, and that's how we became friends.
Thank you, Robbie. Okay, so just go. Next is Ernie Tyler. Ernie is a fashion photographer, and he has helped us with the photography. And without all the photographers, we won't be famous in the internet. There you go. Thank you, Ernie. You want to say anything?
Oh, thank you very much. This came as a big surprise. Marie called me and said, "We're going to give you an award." What? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ernie. Robert Eldridge, come up here, please. All right. Thank you for being one of our James Bond.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the contribution, too. All right. Let's have Janice McEntee. She joined as one of our models, fashion models, for all the years that we've been doing the fashion show. She's always there supporting. You got it? Okay. Colin Walke. Okay. Got it? Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you, Pauline. All right, next we have Gisela Sanchez. They're all fashion models, and they even did a dance choreography during the Temecula Fashion Week. Thank you. All right, and Anatalia. Well, Anatalia is supposed to be here, but she's having a car trouble coming from LA, so I don't know if she's going to make it tonight, but we're going to give this to her. She actually performed in our events and sang, volunteer. These are all volunteer work. Now, Jim McLaughlin, please come up here for the TEDx Temecula.
Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now.
So let's give them a round of applause for being such a great, community leaders and supporters of IVBCF. Let's go ahead and take a picture of all of you. Show your certificate.